Let me start with a question. If I offered you $10 million right now, would you take it? Most people would say, yeah, of course. But what if I told you the deal was you wouldn't wake up tomorrow? Suddenly, that money doesn't look so good, right? And that's the point. We say we value money, but what we really value, what we're really truly terrified of losing, is time. You would turn down $10 million for just one more day. And that should tell you everything you need to know about what's actually valuable in your life. Today, I want to talk about why time is the most valuable currency and how we waste it without even realizing it, how we can start investing it instead of spending it. When I was younger, I thought that time was endless, like most of us, I wasted a whole lot of time, wasted whole summers with nothing to show for it. And I don't mean, restful memory-making summers. I mean the ones where you look back and think, what did I even do? And that's the dangerous illusion that time keeps showing up like a paycheck every 2 weeks, if you work for somebody, of course, but it doesn't. If life came with a visible countdown clock, would we still procrastinate? Years ago, I had purchased a calendar where it basically had from 0 to 120 years, and it had blocks for every week of your life, basically. And it's interesting, I have that calendar hanging up in my office at home, and every week I color in another block, and it's amazing what that has done to change my perspective on how I'm spending my time. Think about yesterday. Did you invest your hours or just spend them? Society trains us to treat money as success, even at the cost of time. I know people, and you probably know people, maybe you yourself are in the situation, that work 60-hour weeks, chasing promotions and stacking up the cash, but missing out on dinners, family time, birthdays, and never having the energy to enjoy the money that they're making. That money came in, the paycheck came in, but the moments they missed, and they never came back. You can always make another dollar, euro, rupee, whatever currency, but you can't make another minute. Investments are things that give back. So learning, meaningful relationships, health. Expenses are things that drain without return. That doom scrolling, toxic people, endless obligations, saying yes when you really need to say no. 20 minutes on social media to relax, that's not really an investment, that's an expense. An investment, maybe 20 minutes to do that, fine, but if you spend 4 hours, it's an expense. This week, I want you to write down where your actual time is going, and you'll be shocked at how many expenses are bleeding your account of your time and energy. Some of the things that I've learned over the years about protecting one's time is really learning to say no without apology. And this is a tough one at first if you're not used to doing this, but saying no without apology will really help you learn how to set your boundaries. Scheduling priorities, not just tasks, seeing what really matters, really prioritizing your to-do list and the things that are filling up your calendar. Replacing the wording that you use too, I don't have time, with it's not a priority. When you speak like that, even to your own brain, it registers, oh, okay, this is not a priority. It's not telling you that you don't have any time. That's a big subconscious kind of trick that we play on ourselves, because whenever we feel like we don't have time, then we get into more of a rush and the time appears or seems to go by quicker. So whenever we replace it with it's not a priority, that's totally different. And if you think in decades, I started doing this, whenever I purchased that calendar years ago, I started thinking of my life in increments of decades. It's like, okay, will this matter in 10 years, what I'm doing right now? So the moment that I started saying no to the projects that I didn't care about, I finally had time to build this podcast, for example, this new podcast. And that trade gave me more satisfaction than any overtime project, overtime paycheck, which I don't have a paycheck. I don't have an employer. I am my own employer, but it gave me much more satisfaction knowing that I would be doing something that I'm passionate about, and the returns are so much more than any amount of money. Where you're spending your energy is where your priorities are, actually. And if you are spending your time doing other things, you're going to feel it, because you're going to feel this big disconnect, or your body's going to start giving you warning signals, or you're going to start feeling completely exhausted all the time. Time doesn't just disappear. Wasted time has ripple effects. If you waste an entire weekend doing nothing but scrolling or sitting in front of the television just watching movie after movie after movie or series after series, and I'm not saying that you can't do that. That's okay to have moments of that. But you would wake up on Monday morning feeling more tired and probably less motivated than ever before. Because the cost wasn't just in those hours lost, it was the energy, the creativity, the relationships that you could have been building up in that time. Wasted time compounds just like debt. Just like interest adds up on credit cards, lost time adds up in missed opportunities, missed connections, missed memories, missed skills. Look at your own life and see what's one area of your life where wasted time has been costing you quietly. Maybe your relationships, maybe your goals, maybe your health. I would recommend, and I know that this is a tough one because our society is built on having financial security and success, and I'm not saying to compromise that at all, but maybe stop organizing your life around money and start organizing it around time. So like time budgeting. Treat your hours like your current currency, your dollars, euros, whatever it is. Where are you allocating them? Outsource your tasks and chores that you hate if possible, so you can reinvest that time. Now, I'm going to tell you that's one thing that you've got to make sure that you are delegating or outsourcing to the correct people, not just people that are going to drain your financial resources with no return. That's going to be something that you'll learn over time. Prioritize travel, conversations, and hobbies, experiences over things that create memories, not just your possessions. Like, for example, buying some really great, board games that you can play with your family, for example, and friends to create an experience, not just possessions. Wealth is measured in moments with our loved ones. I had a friend who was obsessed with upgrading his car every few years. But when we look back, no one talks about his cars. They talk about the road trips. They talk about the nights out, the laughter. And that's time wealth. That's the stuff that stays with you. At the end of your life, your net worth won't be measured in the millions and gazillions that you have. It'll be measured in how you spent your minutes and how you made people feel. In the years, I've definitely learned a lot. I've had the opportunity to be around a lot of older people. And that's one of the things that they every single one of them have said. That it's not about the money. At a certain point, you just don't chase it anymore. And you have it. If you're fortunate enough to have it, you have it. I mean, I know that people struggle. Don't get me wrong. We all struggle from time to time. But at the end of the day, it's not what really matters. We have this illusion of time and trading time for money and investments, making investments versus then the expenses, and protecting your time is very important. This week, I want to challenge you. Treat your time like the rarest currency in the world, because it is. Spend less on expenses, invest more in what matters, and start building your wealth in your minutes, not just money. See how that goes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe and share this podcast with friends, family, colleagues. I thank you so much for being here. And I would love to hear what your biggest time investment has been, or after this week, or has been up until now. I would really love to hear from you. So drop us a comment, send us an email, and thank you once again. Until next time.